Imagine this: a son demands his inheritance while his father is still alive. He leaves home, squanders everything on reckless living, and is left starving, broken, and ashamed. If he came crawling back to you, would you forgive him? This is one of the most powerful parables Jesus ever told. A story not just about mistakes, but about love, redemption, and forgiveness that knows no bounds. So let me take you into it, step by step, like you were standing right there when it happened. Picture the rolling hills of ancient Israel, fields of wheat swaying gently in the wind, and in the center of it all, a wealthy landowner, a father who loves his family deeply. His household is full of life, laughter, and blessing. But inside the walls of that home lives a restless heart, a younger son who looks at the horizon with longing. He dreams of freedom, of cities filled with excitement, of pleasures his father's house cannot give. And one day he makes a demand so bold it shatters tradition. He goes to his father and says, "Father, give me my share of the inheritance. I don't want to wait until later. I want what's mine now." In that moment, the father's heart cracks. In their culture, such a request was an insult. It was as if the son had said, "I wish you were already dead." Still, with quiet grief, the father agrees. He divides his wealth between his two sons. The older remains at home, faithful and obedient, while the younger gathers his fortune and leaves, his eyes burning with excitement for the world waiting beyond the gate. The city welcomes him with open arms. Music fills the streets. Merchants call out from colorful stalls. Taverns overflow with laughter and the clinking of cups. With his pockets full, the young man is surrounded by friends who drink with him, feast with him, party with him. For nights on end he wears fine clothes, lives in comfort, and believes he has found everything he ever wanted. But gold has a way of vanishing faster than one expects. The day comes when his purse runs dry, and suddenly the friends who once praised him drift away. The music he once loved now feels distant. The feasts end. The laughter dies. And as if fate itself turns against him, a famine sweeps the land. Food grows scarce. Prices soar. The once proud young man finds himself desperate, hungry, and utterly alone. He searches for work, for anything that might give him a few coins or a little bread. At last, someone hires him to feed pigs in the fields. For a Jewish man, pigs were unclean, filthy animals. To be sent into the mud to feed them was the lowest humiliation. Yet here he is, knee-deep in muck, throwing scraps to animals while his own stomach twists with hunger. He stares at the pigs and thinks, if only I could eat the husks they chew. But no one spares him even that. It is in that filth, in that desperation, that clarity finally strikes him. He whispers to himself, "How many of my father's servants have food to spare, while I am here starving to death? I will go home. I will confess my sin. I will say, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am not worthy to be called your son. Please take me as a hired servant." And so, barefoot and broken, his clothes torn, his pride shattered, he begins the long journey home. Each step is heavy, not just with exhaustion, but with fear. What will his father say? Will he even let him step foot on the land again? Will he turn him away in anger? Or worse, will he refuse to even look at him? Meanwhile, back at home, the father stands on the edge of his land. Perhaps he has stood there every day since his son left, scanning the horizon, hoping against hope that one day he would return. And then, on this day, he sees something far off, a figure, thin and ragged, limping forward. His heart leaps. Could it be? He knows that face. He knows that walk. His son. His son is coming home. Without hesitation, the father runs. Picture it, an old, wealthy man, robes gathered in his hands, sprinting down the road with tears in his eyes. In that culture, men of status did not run. It was undignified, but this father does not care about appearances. Love has no pride. He runs, and when he reaches his son, he throws his arms around him. The boy begins his rehearsed speech. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father doesn't even let him finish. He kisses him, holds him tight, and shouts to the servants, "Bring the best robe. Put a ring on his finger, sandals on his feet. Kill the fattened calf. Tonight we celebrate, for my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now is found." The household bursts into joy. Music fills the air once more, but this time not for reckless living, it is for redemption. The son who had vanished has returned. What was broken is restored. But not everyone is glad. Out in the fields, the older brother hears the sound of music and dancing. He asks a servant what's happening, and the answer fills him with anger. "Your brother has come home," the servant says, "and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound." The older son clenches his fists. After all these years of loyalty, after all his obedience, this is the reward? He refuses to go inside, and so the father comes out to him, pleading, but the older son explodes. "All these years I have served you. I never disobeyed your commands. Yet you never gave me even a young goat to celebrate with my friends. But this son of yours who wasted your money on sinful living, you welcome him back with a feast." The father looks at him with compassion. "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice, because your brother was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now is found." And that is where Jesus ends the story. A silence must have swept the crowd as the meaning sank deep. For the younger son is each one of us who has wandered, who has chased empty promises, and found ourselves broken. The older son is those who cling to pride, who believe their obedience makes them more worthy of love. And the father? The father is God himself. A God who does not wait for us with anger, but who runs to embrace us the moment we turn toward him. A God who restores us not as servants, but as beloved children. A God whose joy over one sinner's return outshines everything else. Think about our world today. How many people live like the prodigal, chasing success, money, fleeting pleasures, only to end up empty? Maybe you felt that emptiness. Maybe you are there now. This parable tells us it's never too late. No matter how far we've wandered, no matter how broken we feel, there is always a way back. And when we turn, we don't find condemnation. We find a Father running to meet us, arms wide open. So I'll ask you this. If you were the father, would you have forgiven your son? If you were the older brother, how would you have reacted? What choice would you have made in that moment? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And if this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe for more powerful Bible stories, and share this video with someone who needs encouragement today.